Welcome to the Raw Food Health Empowerment Podcast, where we delve into the powerful benefits of a holistic, high raw vegan lifestyle for achieving optimal health, brain function, and overall well being. This podcast is not just about personal health, we're also passionate about community development and creating a culture of health through business and collaboration. Join us as we explore the intersection of raw food, holistic health, and community building to empower ourselves and others to live our best lives. I'm your host, Samantha Salmon, certified integrative nutrition coach. And today we are talking about healthy and convenient snack ideas for busy traveling days. I am in Lublin, Poland, recording this right now. And I've had some rest days recently, but most of the time I've been in Poland. This trip this year has been busy, walking crazy amounts of steps. I've been doing like at least 5 miles a day in terms of walking. One day it went up to like 20,000 steps. My phone was telling me I did. So when you are busy running around like this, sightseeing, checking out all the things, how do you make sure you don't feel hungry, right? You want to have snacks. To make sure that your cravings are at bay, that you can continue to eat clean and just not feel super hungry. Because I know for me personally, when I feel super hungry, it is hard for me to stick to raw. Okay, first of all, that's like, because then I'm so hungry. I'm like, the raw is not going to do it for me. I need something that's going to weigh me down, that's going to hold me heavy. But there are ways that we can kind of ward that off by staying satisfied, so we're not in this feeling of starvation. Of course, we won't reach starvation. It takes months to get there. But if you have the feeling, right, that can make you go down the road of unhealthy eating habits. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you know of a couple helpful resources on the site, rawfoodmealplanner.com. On the site, you will find a checklist on how to diversify your gut microbiome. With a healthy gut microbiome, you have a healthy brain, a healthy overall bodily system, digestion is working right. So you definitely want to make sure your gut health is on point. So you could download that checklist. And also, if you have been practicing intermittent fasting, this is probably a little bit more advanced for folks who've been following me for a while. You know that I encourage, endorse, and also follow an intermittent fasting lifestyle because I have a history of being a glutton and overeating. I just, I will eat just because I'm bored, because I feel nauseous. I like eat, eat is the answer for all the things. And so what's helped me not overeat is intermittent fasting, where I have a window of time, which is typically 8 hours, or sometimes less, depending, because there's certain guardrails I work around, but typically it's like an 8-hour window. I eat within, and outside of that, I'm just drinking loads of water. It helps me make sure I get my water in and also curbs that tendency to overeat. And so this strategy sheet really focuses in on the major points that make it difficult to be consistent with intermittent fasting. So I have that resource for you at rawfoodmealplanner.com. Also, the links for these will be in the show notes. Now, I've had numerous people ask me for a raw vegan meal plan with nutritional breakdown, and it's inside the 30-day raw vegan challenge, so you can sign up for that if you're interested in getting that 30-day raw vegan meal plan with all the macros and recipes to try and things of that nature. All right, so let's dig into today's episode. So like I said, I'm traveling right now in Poland, and I will be traveling over the next 3 months. So, making sure I already had my playtime. I've been here for 3 weeks. That first couple weeks was like, I went from Orlando, Florida, where I make all my meals to Warsaw, Poland, where all the vegan food is there, you know? So I definitely played. I enjoyed myself. I do not regret it. Let me tell you, I don't regret it. But now it's time to get back to reality, and eat in a way where my digestive system won't come back and be like, girl, you need to stop it right now. So today we're going to dig into some of these tips and insights. The first one, of course, I got to start with fresh fruit. That's how I start my day, because I love fruit. And if you wait till the end of the day for fruit, it's not going to be a happy experience if you're sharing a bed or room with other people, because fruit digests pretty fast. And so especially if you're eating cooked food, then you're going to make sure you want to do that at the top of the day, not after cooked food. People will not enjoy it. They won't want to be related to you anymore. They won't want to share a room with you anymore. So just keep that in mind. Now, the fruits, they are satisfying. They satisfy the sweet tooth, full with, of course, vitamins, minerals, fiber, but water, the water and the fiber, that's what makes it really, really like it in terms of satisfaction, being full. And I find that apples in particular are really good for this. Like, they tend to keep me full a lot, and grapes. But I know different people have different things. Some people love watermelon, and that they could do like a whole big watermelon, and that will keep them full, you know. So you find the fruits that work for you, load up on them. And the last episode that we talked through, we talked about the importance, like if you're gonna be traveling, opt for a place where you have a kitchen, where you have dishes, where you have tools, so you can make your own food and kind of control what's going in. Another snack, nut butters in smoothies, right? So you can buy the smoothies or make them. You know, you can travel with a blender if that makes sense for you. I know some truckers who actually travel with juicers and blenders and things in their trucks. Maybe you could fit a blender in your suitcase, you know, depending, so that you can blend wherever you are. I have been buying. So I've found some places, some vegan restaurants that have smoothies, and they have nut butters in them. One that I had was at this place in Lublin called Zielone Talerze. Zielone Talerze means green plate in English, and they have some really great options for vegans, actual whole foods, delicious foods. They even have a raw vegan dessert there. The place is not a vegan restaurant. They just have vegan options. And I think they're so great, because for a non-vegan restaurant to have a raw vegan dessert shows that these people know how to be inclusive with their menus, okay? So I think for other health practitioners out there, you know, health coaches and things, if your target is working with businesses on, you know, making sure that they have a variety of things on the menu for folks, because this is a DEI issue as far as I'm concerned, making sure that food places have things for vegans and for raw vegans, for health conscious people, so that folks can eat. It works for the business. It makes a great business case for them, so they make this money and not have money walking through the door because they can't cater to different people's needs. But also that, you know, folks like myself who are traveling, we don't have to starve, and it doesn't have to be so difficult. We can have options, right? And I think I had one person, Misfit Vegan, on my podcast before. I interviewed her, and I believe this is around the work that she does, which I think is a great business to be in. Like I said, it's a DEI issue. And if I was doing that type of work, that is how I would lead. Like, you want to make sure you don't have money walking through the door because you want to be non-inclusive with your menu, right? So anyway, this place, Zielone Talerze, I highly recommend. And they had a smoothie that I had that was so good. It was a green smoothie with banana, almond butter, I think orange or something, but it had sting and nettle in there. And sting and nettle is like all over Poland, just growing everywhere. And it's supposed to be super healthy. I need to actually do some research on sting and nettle myself because that's not a herb that I'm too familiar with. I just know that it's full of a lot of nutrients, packed with lots of nutrients. So I was really excited to try it in a smoothie form. That was new for me. And it was a pretty decent smoothie. It tasted definitely like something I would make at home. Now, you know, if you are traveling and want a snack, kale chips is like the obvious thing. If you have less of a sweet tooth and more of like a savory tooth, you like savory foods, like myself, kale chips is obvious. You can make kale chips at home with a dehydrator. But if you're someone like me, you're in my position where you're traveling for months, right? Making kale chips, packing that in your suitcase and bringing it and having enough to last you for months does not seem likely. So this is where I would highly recommend finding the health food stores in your area, or maybe restaurants that probably provide this. I don't think I've seen restaurants, any vegan restaurants that make kale chips and sell them. But I have seen kale chips in health food stores in Warsaw, and I'm hoping to hit up some of the health food stores in Lublin. Kale chips is like one of the most basic health food snacks that you could find. One thing I haven't noticed since I've been here in Poland that I'm surprised is my snack that I told you I really love, if you've been listening to me for a while, which is those seaweed snacks, the nori, and not the raw ones, but the roasted ones where it's like it has olive oil and salt. It's not something I eat too much anymore because I OD'd, and apparently I cannot control myself. When that packet says highly addictive, they was not playing. So I don't buy it anymore because I have to put guardrails around myself. I am a child when it comes to food and snacks, right? And so I have to be the parent of myself and say, you know what? That's it. We're not buying it anymore. But since I'm on vacation, kind of on vacation, that's something I would like to try, see how they're doing it out here in Poland. But I haven't seen it. I'll let you know if I have, but definitely kale chips I've seen everywhere. Hydration. Now, while you're traveling, hydration is so critical. And in Poland here, one of the things that I love last trip and this trip is fruit infused water. Now in Poland, and I'm not sure if this is a European thing, it may be European, but it's definitely not American, right? They have wodę gazowaną, which is carbonated water. It's mineral water carbonated, and it tastes so good. There's a brand I love called Żywiec Zdrój, and they have different types of carbonated waters with fruit in them. So like I've had strawberry, I had lemon and mint, which was amazing. It was so good. And so this has been a really great, like, quote unquote snack for me. It's not really a snack because, I mean, it's water and you got to stay hydrated when you're traveling, right? Also helpful for the digestive system and things like this. But this type of carbonated water that's fruit infused is like, it's just more fun, you know. You get some flavor and it's really fun. Not all the stores have it though, just so you know. I find sometimes it's hard to get to, like wodę gazowaną you can find everywhere. Some other terms you might see is moczny gaz, where moczny is like, I think it's M-O-C-Z-N-Y, or it could be M-O-Z-N-Y, which just means strong gas, right? Like lots of gas. But the carbonated water with the fruit in it, you know, sometimes it's hard to find. Not every store has it, but if you hit up on it and you see it, it's a really fun drink to try. Okay, another snack idea, of course, is the crunchy vegetables dipped in hummus or some kind of sauce. Hummus is like an easy thing. I've been able to get hummus at the grocery store here, and they do have those veggies like carrot sticks. You could get celery. You can even get almond butter and put it on celery or put it on apple slices. You could get bell pepper slices with the hummus. So this is like an easy, like crunchy vegetable snack. Also nuts. Now in Żabka, so there's like some major stores to know in Poland if you travel to Poland, which I highly recommend. The place is beautiful. The country is beautiful. I mean, I've been to many cities so far, and there's a lot more cities that I'm gonna be hitting up that I've never experienced. But so far, all the cities, there's lots of greenery, the pace, the culture, everything is just really great. So I highly recommend. But there's two like stores that you'll notice that are in a lot of places, right? That you'll probably have access to get to and get stuff is Żabka and Biedronka. Now in these places, they have these nuts, these little packets of nuts, and they're super clean. They come in these like green packets and already portion sized out for you. And for someone who can't handle a lot of nuts, I highly appreciate the portion size that they have. You can get almonds, walnuts, cashews, like they have all different kinds, which is great because you can load up on your healthy omega-3s. You get that protein for satiety. You get the healthy fat that, you know, is just great, promotes brain health, right? Nutrient density, and it's already there. And it honestly, nothing really costs too much if you're here with American dollars. Nothing really costs too much, especially these snacks, right? They're just the perfect snack. If you're on the go, running around, there's always a Żabka, and there's most likely a Biedronka nearby. You could just pop in and get these. And on top of that, the next snack option are seeds, right? So you may find some seeds. Again, they'll be in a similar aisle, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, some seeds that you can use and probably bring back to your Airbnb or something to add to salads and things for some texture, variety, some healthy fats, some protein. And if you like chia seed recipes and that's something that you make already, you could probably get chia seeds from a health food store. I haven't seen chia seeds like around just like in a Żabka or Biedronka, just one of the local grocery stores. But I'm pretty sure maybe a health food store would have it. And my last tip for you on snacks is the hack of the century, okay? It's my own personal hack that for the past few years I have had. And the reason why it came about, I'm gonna tell you the long story actually. So the hack is, first let me tell you the hack is packing your favorite tea bags. And the reason why I had to start doing it is ever since I lived in California the second time, when I was living in LA, traveling to see family, you're going from California to New York or California to the Midwest, and those long flights, I would get really super nauseous. And even the last one, when I moved to Florida, was like the worst for me, right? Because I needed to rush to the house to meet someone who was going to let me in the house. But I needed time for my brain and stomach to settle down from the trip. Like I was feeling so sick. I don't know if it's from the air in the flight cabin, you know, or if it's just being up at those high elevations, but I just end up feeling so nauseous and sick. Now, when you're traveling to Poland even, you know, it's even longer the trip. You know, I can't remember how long the trip was from West Coast to East Coast, but let's say it's 4 to 6 hours or something like that. From the East Coast of America to Central Europe, it is 8.5 hours minimum, okay? So having tea, I pack like this time I brought my turmeric ginger tea. Sometimes I bring lemon ginger. Last year I brought a whole bunch of different types of teas, but they always have ginger in it because I need something to settle my stomach with these flights. And then sometimes, you know, you just will be in your country traveling and you just want a nice, relaxing tea or something that reminds you of home, you know, I have a regular practice of consuming these teas at home that make me feel good, make my stomach feel comfortable. And so having it here, especially like in Poland, I've had experiences here over the past 2 years where my understanding of tea is not their understanding of tea, right? Like, you know, I've had conversations with business owners, even a woman who owns a tea shop, and we're going back and forth on teas. And ultimately I just was like, yo, can I just get hot water? And I brought my own tea. And, you know, because it's just different, you know, it's different. Like I have lemon ginger. For them, they don't even understand how ginger could be a tea. Like for them, they're probably thinking of like an actual fresh root ginger. And honestly, these conversations had me thinking, how are they putting ginger in these? I don't know. They're dehydrating it, putting it in the tea bag. So technically, it's not a tea, right? It's not like, because they're expecting something like black, green, you know, these are the questions coming back. And it's like, I have no idea. I know I have lemon and ginger in this tea bag, and I need hot water. You know, this is the tea I like, and I need hot water. So packing your own favorite tea bags, and it doesn't take up any room. Like honestly, I keep it in my traveling book bag. It's always on me. So if I'm in flight and I need tea, like the last time I was on LOT Polish Airlines, it's a long flight, like 5-6 hours in, I was able to get hot tea on the plane. So when I landed, I was fine, I was good. So it's like the tea even made a difference while in flight, you know? It just helps. So those are my tips from you, from my personal experience traveling. I'm personally, you know, I've been on this high raw vegan journey for the past 15 years. And this trip of digital nomading for 3.5 months is a learning experience, right? Like being flexible, navigating in these different spaces. Some cities you have lots of vegan options. Some cities you don't have as much vegan options, and how to maneuver with a kitchen, without a kitchen, like, you know, how to do all these things. So it's been really interesting. It's been a learning curve, and I'm hoping to share some of these learnings with you while you're on your high raw vegan journey. I'm hoping, you know, me and my generation, we are stumbling through this and trying to figure it out. And just as the vegan movement has grown, I have a vision for the high raw vegan movement to grow as well and be even more prevalent in the next generation, because what they'll have all the information and teaching like repeated to them in such a way where it will become mainstream. So for me, it's something new that even I'm still learning, right? I'm 15 years in and I'm still learning, but the next generation, this will just be their life. And this is what I'm hoping that this content will do, and the work that I've been doing with nonprofits to bring nutrition programming to their work, to just normalize whole food eating, high raw eating as part of this whole thing. Like not just leaning into veganism, but like healthy veganism, being mindful, being conscious of what we put in, you know, not to be strict all the time and be crazy and orthorexic, right? Because orthorexia is a thing. I've been noticing it in the community, and we addressed it even in the Raw Food Health Empowerment Summit, like this perfectionism to just be like 100% all the time. I follow, I think it's Pareto's principle or something like this, 80-20, right? And that 80-20 does not include meat, dairy, eggs, okay? There's no reason to eat any of that. But we are living in an environment where there's just a lot of conveniences. And so some of those conveniences are processed foods, are cooked foods, you know, but they may not make us feel the best and the healthiest. And so the 80-20 rule says 80% of the time I'm eating excellent. 20% of the time I'm playing around and just having some fun, experimenting, exploring, but obviously I can't stay there because my body doesn't feel well when I stay there, right? This is the approach. This is called having a healthy relationship with food. You don't need to be extreme, You're eating clean for a purpose, for a reason, okay? Anyway, until next time, have a blessed day.